Welcome, welcome, welcome. We back again with another one. Bang, ba bang, banga. Happy Fruit Monday, y'all. Happy Fruit Monday. Let's go. Hopefully, everyone had a great weekend and a great week last week. We're starting off another exciting week here. We're out here in nature a little bit, with the feet on the ground, 10 toes down. If you guys don't have 10 toes, hey, any toes you got, put them on the ground, get grounded real quick. Anyways, we we back again with another bang ba bang banger. Today's already gonna be a busy day, so gotta get this out real quick. So today's topic is about nature's candy. We did a series about um, being your own doctor, you know, and we will always go back to that. But today, I just want to talk about nature's candy because we got a lot of toothers, sweet tooth people, right? And they always want to eat something sweet, you know. They like to eat candy, chocolate, any type of sweet snacks and things like that. And hey, I ain't knocking them, but the reason why we all have a sweet tooth, some people more than others, is because we're supposed to be eating fruits. I mean, I feel like you probably get that by now, but I'm just gonna say it again. Nature's candy is fruits. Now, there's different fruits that are very highly sweet, and some are not so sweet, but at the end of the day, again, we're looking for healthy alternatives. And if you have a very strong sweet tooth and you like to snack on God knows what kind of candy you're gonna snack on, Jolly Ranchers, Snickers, all that stuff, how about you just try to get a sweet fruit like some grapes, um, mango. What's a really sweet fruit? Dates, right? Date. You could even do dates. Medjool. I think it's medjool. Date is the common ones around here you can get. You can make your own even healthy fruit snack, sweet tooth, you know, snack, right? So the name of the game is to really try to realize the commercial companies that these companies that we typically buy our products from, whether it's for your skin, whether it's actual food, they're all based their understanding and their way of attracting you based on nature, based on what we truly desire and naturally gravitate to. So they just mimic what's already given to them by nature, and then they commercialize it, they re-engineer it so you're addictive to it, right? When you eat a candy, you want to eat more. You can't eat, most people can't just eat one candy. That's why they give you a whole bag of candy, like you know, I remember back in the day you could only buy one Snicker bar, but now they have even a whole bag of like little bite-sized pieces Snicker bars, right? Like Skittles, Jolly Ranchers. It's always a lot that they give you because they engineer these things to be highly addictive. So, when you do eat, let's say instead of eating a bag of Skittles, You say, I'm gonna just eat some really sweet cotton candy grapes, right? At a certain point, nature is gonna, um, you know, intervene and say, oh, you can only eat this amount of grapes. But you could eat, if you're crazy enough, continuously eat multiple bags of Skittles until you're blue in the face, because there's no natural um, satiation, because it's addictive, right? So, you know, if you do have a sweet tooth, and again, we all do, some people have it more than others, you know, try to eat the alternative, right? So the other challenge that people really face when it comes to sweet tooth and eating fruits, which is crazy to me, but it is something we gotta talk about, is the sugar content. It's full of sugar. I can't eat so much bananas. They got too much sugar in it. But but your ass will go and eat a Snicker bag, right? A Skittle, whole bunch of Skittles, knowing that it's full of sugar, but you still eat it. But when it comes to eating multiple fruits, you want to push back and say, oh, it's not, it's too much sugar, this and that, right? So let me break that down a little bit. So, not only the sugar content in fruits are natural, right? They're natural sugar content. It's not, it's, if you get into science, you know, you have glucose, fructose, you know, all the different types of sugar. But the sugar that's in fruits is fructose, right? And it's not just sugar when you eat fruits. It's a actually a complete food. It's a complete meal in a sense, right? When you eat a Skittle that is full of sugar, not only you're starving your body from hydration, there's no balance with that. It's just pure chemicalized sugar, right? But when you eat, let's say, a grape or an apple, not only you're getting the sweet tooth satiation of something sweet that we all love and like, you're also getting the fiber. You're getting, depending on the fruit, you're getting water content, a high amount of water content, right? Which also helps neutralize any of the so-called a lot of sugar, and also the fiber itself will help neutralize the sugar content. So um, you're getting, and you're also, there's a limit of how much fruit you will be able to eat in one setting, because of the high water, fiber, and satiated content of you eating that fruit, compared to, again, sitting down eating a bag of Jolly Rancher. You could eat so much of that and still feel like you can eat more, because there's no natural cutoff, right? Your body, because it's a chemicalized component, it will constantly want you to eat more and more and more, because you're not satiated, because it doesn't have the full, complete wholeness of what a fruit does for us, which is hydrate, um, hydrate us, also give us vitamins, trace minerals, keep our digestive system in check, um, even help us sleep better. There's so much benefits from eating fruits, because it's designed for us to eat, that we can go on and on and on about why it's better. But I just want to let you all know, if you got a sweet tooth, you know, there's probably more things going on in your system. You know, you could have overload of parasites, fungus, things like that as well. that's causing you mentally to always want to eat something sweet. But just for the most part, even just switching from a more natural, uh, sweet foods like fruits compared to always, trying to get some type of candy to satiate yourself or to make you feel like you're helping your sweet tooth is completely better. And eventually, if you do have fungus or you do have parasites and certain things inside of you that's triggering you to eat a lot of sweets, eventually that will subside because you're actually helping your body, hydrating it, helping it with the right type of sweets that will eventually get rid of them. Parasites, fungal overload, things of that nature. So, again, we keep it simple on this channel. We ain't gonna go deep in the woods, bring out different scientific proof. But, the first thing is to start simple, right? Is what you put in your body, right? So if you're a candy or sweet tooth, chemicalized sweet tooth addict, just try to start having more fruits. Find the healthy alternative. If you like chocolate, try to find natural cocoa, or cacao, right? If you like to eat a lot of candy, try to find some really sweet fruits to eat versus the candy, right? And see how that works for you. See how the change. It will take some time, but it will eventually. You will see the change and the results and why it's important to eat more natural foods. And the fruit, again, the sugar content in fruits is not going to cause you to have any type of diabetic or um, I don't know, diabetic problems, right? Because that's mostly what people are worried about when they eat a lot of fruits that have a high sugar content, is that you could become a diabetic or pre-diabetic. Not if you are worried about that, look at, there's even low glycemic fruits, which means it's there's not as much sugar content in certain fruits like blueberries, strawberries, any of the berries mostly are low glycemic fruits. Your avocado, right? You know, if you're worried about so much sugar in the fruit, you know, eat fruits that are on the lower glycemic chain of not a high sugar content. But I feel like if you've been eating a lot of sweets and you're concerned that if you stop eating sweets and you start eating fruits, you're gonna have more sugar in the fruit than the sweets, then that's where I'm like, nah, you're crazy. You should definitely use fruits as your natural sweet tooth, as your number one go-to when you want something sweet, right? Even late at night, if you're like, hey, I wanna go watch some TV, Netflix, and chill with some ice cream. Nah, I mean, try to get some frozen fruit, sorbet and things like that. You could do that, or make your own frozen fruit, you know, mashup to eat versus some other alternative, which is like chemicalized sweets, right? Again, there's no balance with the chemicalized sweets, but there is a balance with the fruits because it is a complete food. It has everything that you need when you eat it, right? You don't. That's why your body also feels it's incomplete, and you're constantly eating more and more and more to try and fill up yourself because your body feels like it needs more, right? But when you eat If you're like me, I eat a high amount of fruits. So, one banana won't I need more than one banana. I need more than, you know, sometimes one watermelon, depends on the size. But at a certain point, you will have to stop because your body will feel satiated. It will feel like it's at its peak, at its point where you don't need to eat anymore. And that's what nature does for us. It gives us that point where it's like, okay, now it's time to do something else. But I know, because I've done it before, especially when I was younger. I could eat a whole bag of Jolly Ranchers or Skittles, or because these don't have any natural mechanism built in to say stop. You just want to eat more and more. So I feel like I've touched on that. I feel like, again, nature's candy is fruits. The sweeter, the better. The sweeter, the what do they call it? The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Again, that's all real. You know what I'm saying? If it's sweet, that means it's time to eat it. It's time for you to enjoy what nature has to offer you when it's sweet. Who wants to eat something sour all the time or not ripe? So that's why nature make it as sweet as possible for us. And if your body is in the right levels, the sugar content won't do anything, y'all. I'm telling you, because you will be eating a complete food with all the other factors in it. When you eat a Snicker, there's no water content in it, so your body has to find or help get water from a different source, right? Especially when you eat something sweet, you typically have to drink a lot of water to dilute the all that sugar that you just ate. But when you eat grapes, it might be super sweet, but you gonna feel full if you eat a lot because there's water content in it. So again, there we go. So the fruit of the day today, y'all, is my boy, the pineapple, right? The pineapple, the pineal gland apple, right? I hadn't cut it up yet, so you won't see me eating some, but I'm about to cut that bad boy up, get my pineal gland going, get my hydration, you see how I let it ripe. I bought this a week ago, and it's finally, if you could smell this, man, it smells really good. But it's finally at its sweet point. It's time to break it open and enjoy it. And here we are, another Monday down. Happy Fruit Monday, y'all. Try to make better, healthy decisions and choices for your health. It's 2025. You only got you, so gotta do it. All right, we out. Peace.